We got a question from Livingston. Let's bring Livingston up. Yo, what's up, man?
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? How you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Good.
So yeah, so like basically, I got a track that I'm working on for sync, and my wife, she heard it and she really liked it, right?
Hmm.
She does a bit of singing here and there, and she really want to be a part of it. But the
Okay.
problem is she's not signed with any pro or anything, and I know the importance of like all parties involved that the music supervisor and people need to know about. So I
Hmm.
was trying to explain to her like, this may not work. I mean, it's a great song and you want to be a part of it, cool, but this
Hmm.
may not work because you need to be signed with the pro. And she
Yeah.
was thinking, well, there got to be a way around it. And I was like, well, the closest thing I could think of is maybe you sign a work for hire agreement, right?
Hmm.
Whereas, sign that up and I guess quote unquote pay you
Hmm.
and I keep a record of that and hopefully they'll accept that. So I guess my question is like, would that be a good approach in a situation like that? I mean, generally I try to work with people that are just signed with pros. So it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
But my question is like, would that be a good approach when dealing with a situation like that? Sorry.
Sure. You have two options in that situation, right? So if someone's not registered with the PRO and you've collaborated and you want to pitch that, you can either just have them go ahead and register with the PRO so that they have that, especially if it'll be continued collaborations. That would be the best move. Just have them get registered as a writer with the PRO. Second option is you could do the like a work for hire agreement and just basically say, hey, for X amount of dollars, you agree to write this song or perform this or, play this, whatever the situation is. And you won't, you're not entitled to any ownership of the master recording or, writing or publishing or anything like that. So yeah, those are like the two options. You pretty much nailed it. And it's just a matter of what you all feel comfortable doing.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. And to comment on the whole acoustics thing, and I know the feeling. I used to run to my car as well, and it's cold out here in London, so I know the
Oh
feeling,
man.
and it's
Yep.
crazy. And I got my room treated, and it was tough adjusting to it, and eventually I got there. So yeah,
Yeah.
just hang, just to Ken, just hang with it, man.
Yep.
Yep. Thank you.
No problem. GABA Music Work says, referring to the wife question, what if we have equal ownership in the company? That's kind of different because you have the company and then you have the asset, right? So the music is the asset. So like whatever the agreement is with the asset, that's with that asset, not necessarily the company. If you have equal ownership in the company, then technically any money that the company makes from the asset. So if the company gets paid, say $500 upfront sync fee for a song, then I guess technically you just get whatever the split is as owner of the company on how y'all get paid. But that would depend. But it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with, with like writer share or anything like that. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Kenyon says, when first starting out, is it more important to build your company before pitching, like website, logo, etc., or should you just focus on getting the music out there first? I would say focus on getting the music out there because the chances of them like checking for websites and logo, they don't care. I'm gonna just be 100% honest. Like they don't care. Like if you have a website, nice, but like they really just care about the music. Like they're not looking like this guy doesn't have a logo, we're not gonna use this music. No, like if the music is great, they could care less if you have a logo. They could care less if you have all these professional looking things, EPK. Like it doesn't really matter. When I started, I mean, I had a website when I started, but it was like just up there from other stuff I was doing. But when I was sharing my music and reaching to the companies, I never really shared my website. It was always some sort of streaming link or like a box folder of tracks or now a disco.ac link. Rarely, honestly, I don't think ever have I have I just shared a link to my website. Like it may be in my email signature, but I've never shared a link to my website. But I will say this, it doesn't necessarily hurt. I had a TV placement mastery student. He was going through the pitching process in TV placement mastery, like week 7, we start pitching and he went through, he did everything that we had outlined in the program, right? But he just by default kind of had his website linked to his music because he's a producer, a dope producer, but also an artist, right? So in the email signature, he just had it in there by default to his website where it showcased some of his artist music. So what ended up happening was he would send an email out. He sent the email out to a publisher. He had his disco link with the tracks that we crafted through the TV placement mastery program. But then the publisher hit him back and they were like, hey, actually checked out your artist stuff and we actually love that too. Like we would love to, to sign some of that stuff or have you create, some stuff like this for our catalog. So like in that instance, it worked out to his advantage to have that website. So I would say if you have it in the signature or something like that. But if you don't stress out about it. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to go and like start creating all this stuff and spend 6 months building a website and, and all that stuff, getting logos designed. If you don't have it, just start building a playlist of music, start pitching it, get the ball moving. And then, as you develop as an entrepreneur or whatever, and you start to build your brand, then you can start to put those things in place. But it's not necessary to get started in sync. Today's video is brought to you by TV Placement Mastery. This is my high-level coaching program for producers to fast track you to your first licensing deal within 90 days. Now, this is an invite-only program, so you have to apply, and I only work with a few producers at a time. So just go to tvplacementmastery.com or click the link in the description to apply. Patty P says, do you still use a Stream Deck or Loop Deck to help fast track? I'm not using the Loop Deck. I got rid of the Loop Deck. I sold that joint. It was cool. What was it about? It was something that I didn't like the response time to the wheel. I liked the wheel, but in certain apps, it just wasn't responsive. And not Logic, but Final Cut Pro, it was more of a headache than anything. I still have a Stream Deck that I use. I'm using it now, but I set up some shortcuts for like Final Cut Pro in the Stream Deck. I think I'm going to create some for Logic too with the Stream Deck, like just some quick key commands that I can just hit a button and it does it. But I also have an SSL, I think it's the UF1 controller, and that does well for like my Logic stuff. It has the transport, slider, and some other little knobs and windows and stuff that helps me. But no Loop Deck, just Stream Deck and the SSL controller. King says, thank God. Yeah, don't stress out about that. We got Elliot says, hey everyone, composer engineer from the Bay Area, Cali. We got Eric, what's good fam? Joshua in the building. Hey everyone, I'm a producer and artist from Phoenix, Arizona, but currently based in LA. Hope you're safe, man, with all the fires and stuff happening and popping off in LA, man. Hope you and the fam are safe. And that goes for everybody out there on the West Coast, in that area. Livingston is a producer engineer living in the UK. Let's go. All right, so back to these wins. Jacob Kardik got a huge win, a Gatorade ad. Y'all ain't playing, man. Like y'all coming with heat. What are we, 2.5 weeks into 2025 and y'all hitting this hard? So he actually shared the spot, the actual Gatorade spot that he landed. So if you guys, for those who are inside the Sync Producer Hub, you can go to the share a win section and you can watch that video and see his placement in action, synced to a Gatorade ad. He had mentioned that was a result of coming out to the Shades of Sync conference. One of the panelists he met at the Shades of Sync conference, and he was able to secure that ad. So that is huge, man. Shout out to everyone who's involved with Shades of Sync. If I were you, I would get on the wait list so you know when the next Shades of Sync is. Just go to shadesofsync.com. An amazing sync conference. DJ Horn.